Good morning, Jackson, Mississippi, and all surrounding areas. You tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards, unless somebody has snatched my body and sent an alien here. Sometimes I wish they had. Speaking of aliens, I've got one in the studio with me this morning. The man, the myth, the legend. If you grew up in Jackson, you know my buddy here, Mr. Justin Thompson, 23-year military veteran, retired now, I guess.
Resigned, yeah,
that's the technical term. Man, let's just tell everybody about yourself a little bit, about your military past, and then we'll work our way to the resignation.
All right.
Well, hold that thought real quick. If you want to call in, and I know y'all guys are going to, once Justin gets to talking and telling you his story, you're going to want to call in. He's one of us. The Matt Hike of Flowwood phone line, 601-879-0002, and the Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. I'll be repeating those throughout the show, so if you missed it, stay tuned. All right, my apologies, Justin. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, good morning. Well, man in high school, 17 years old. I'm in, my buddy gets recruited into the Guard. And, I wanted to be with my buddy, so.
Who was it, if we can ask? Somebody I know?
No, nobody.
Okay.
Nobody knows. So, recruiter's like, man, what do you want to do? I said, I want to jump out of planes. So, recruiter sends me off with the Special Forces unit. Go off my 17 years old, go off for basic training.
Army, right?
Yeah, Army. So, go off basic training, come back, go to jump school, all that stuff. A couple years later, I found myself going to flight school. Went to flight school down at Fort Rucker, down in Alabama. Flew Blackhawks. Did that for the last part of my career. And it's been 23 years. And I just had to call it quits, man.
You know, man, I always thought it was so cool seeing on your Facebook stuff that I was like, man, I got a friend, like a real friend, not just somebody I know in passing, but a real friend of mine's a Blackhawk pilot. You know, like there was guys like me that live vicariously through you, I was like, that is cool. I would never be able to do that. So
I didn't believe myself. I was like, I got through flight school and it was like, man, what am I doing? They trusted me with this, amazing piece of equipment, man. It's a great job. Probably best job in the Army I could think of.
Yeah. So where did you go to high school?
Went to Forest Hill, Terry.
So that's what I was thinking, South Jackson guy.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember how we met. Because I was like, well, you were kind of a combo deal with Micah. That's kind of how I really remember meeting you. But I don't remember meeting you. Just one of the people that just appeared. That's always a sign of a good friend. They've been around forever, but you don't really know how you met them.
Yeah, I can't put a point. I can't put a finger on it either.
I'd say early 2000s. Somewhere in there.
For sure. 20 years ago.
Yeah. So I just always thought, man, that guy flies Blackhawks. That is just so cool, Yeah. And you flew drones overseas and stuff like that as well?
Yeah. I guess the last probably 7-8 years I was a defense contractor. Flew drones overseas.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's jump to the meat of this, man. This a lot of this show is just about freedom and choice. And, if you want to go get the damn jab, get it. If you don't. You should never be forced to. That's pretty much everybody at this radio station's thought process on that. It's kind of weird that we all ended up at the same radio station at the same time without any plan. We're all on the same page when it comes to that. And after 23 years, just short of getting your full retirement, at 25 years?
No, I'm eligible for retirement at 20 years.
At 20?
I can't draw it until I'm like 58, 57, 58. I don't know what the number is. It's closer to 60.
Gotcha. So you chose, instead of getting the vaccine, you chose to resign.
Yeah, pretty much they were forcing it on everybody and said, you're going to get it. Like, you're going to get it. They came out with a new doctrine about it. You went to classes every drill. When we'd go to drill every month, we spent half our drill in classes about how you're going to get the COVID vaccine, and they check your card, see if you got the booster. they actually came out with threats on some younger soldiers about how they were going to have to pay back $20,000-$30,000 bonuses, all this stuff, wouldn't be eligible to get back in, and things like that.
Would that stand up in court, or is it a different kind of court in the military? That doesn't fall under the same jurisdiction as, like, if I sue somebody outside of court, if I sue my employer here or something like that?
Yeah. So you have obligations in the Guard. So some of it's kind of truth, but they were pretty much strong arming these kids. I say these kids, they're 20 years old, just got in, And like,
I was a kid till my mid-30s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still am. So
yeah.
So they were kind of strong arming themselves into these positions of like, hey, you're gonna have to pay back this $20,000 bonus, but you do have obligations when you sign up. So I don't know about how far they can go with it. I've talked to some JAG officers, attorneys for the military. Mm-hmm. They kind of said it wouldn't stand up. And I don't know if it would, but, it's like, they put these guys in the corner and pretty much gave them no option out except for you're getting the jab. And I had enough years in where I don't have any obligations. I could have resigned or retired at any point. And that's when I came forward and I was just like, look, I'm not getting it. I even spoke to some of the younger guys. I was like, look, you don't have to get it. Their biggest, the Army's biggest comeback to that was, well, you get the flu shot every year. That was the biggest comeback.
Here's one of the ones that I've heard that I shake my head at, and it comes from people who partied a lot. Well, I mean, I put a lot of stuff in my body back in the 90s or 2000s. What's this going to hurt? I'm like, yeah, but you quit putting those things in your body. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you knew they were bad. You quit doing them. That's not a good excuse. I don't want to add anything else foreign into my body. It's like, dude, I made it out of the 2000s and the 90s alive. Yeah. I don't want to put nothing else strange. Yeah. The flu shot in 2011, I got it in 2012 because I got the flu in 2011. I was like, I never want to feel like that again. And so I got the flu shot, and then I never did get the flu again. It didn't do anything to me, but after a year or two of getting the flu shot, I just quit doing it because I started paying attention. As social media grew, you started seeing more and more people talk about this kind of stuff online. They're like, I got the flu shot and got the flu. I got the flu shot and got the flu. It's like, well, it seems like everybody that got the flu shot got the flu. I will just roll the dice and wash my hands and keep my distance and start using some hygiene, just personal hygiene rules. And knock on wood, I never got the flu again. Heck, I made it 2 years into COVID without getting COVID. It was Omicron that finally got me. So, but yeah, to your point, man, the flu shot, if that's your best comeback, we're gonna have to come better.
Yeah, because so that you do a physical every year, and they give you the flu shot. They got these boxes they have to mark off, and it's like, I've refused the flu shot and nothing happened. So it's, I don't know what the big deal is.
So you can refuse the flu shot.
They say you can't, but you can.
Yeah,
I've done it.
That's interesting.
I've done it.
Because they put a lot of stuff in you guys that the general public doesn't have to.
I've got a yellow card, which is the shot record card, the big yellow card, mm-hmm. And man, I've got pages of it from being a defense contractor and military. I've got everything, but not that one.
Without getting to the minutia of COVID and how bad is it and this, that, and the other. This seems like such an overreach for something that at the end of the day is the flu. And I like to throw this disclaimer out there. When people, there's this, the left side of politics get really mad when you refer to it as like a bad flu, as if you're discounting it. Bro, the flu almost killed me in 2011. A bad flu is terrible. Oh yeah. I'm not discounting anything. I'm just saying that you can survive. You may be out 2-3 weeks. I mean, look, I know it knocks some people on their butts. And then they put them on ventilators. That's a whole other conversation. But a bad flu, that's not discounting it. I mean, I get it. It sucks. But is it worth, kicking people out of the military and forcing people out of their jobs? I mean, my wife, nurse, registered nurse anyway. And, without getting too much into her business, she don't want the vaccine. So she's got this degree that she can't use right now. Yeah, because of the nursing stuff.
I know several nurses that have actually transferred jobs, quit jobs, went to different hospitals because of it.
Yeah, I'm hoping that will work itself out.
Yeah.
You know, fingers crossed. But you know, I mean, I get on here. I try to walk it like I talk it on the radio in my life and in my personal life. You know, if she woke up today and said, "Clay, I'm going to get the vaccine," well, then by all means, go get it. Yeah. You know, do as you wish. But I can't force her to get it or pressure her to go get it because I'm so anti being forced to do it. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. If you want to go get it, by all means. Now, I will say this: there's some proof also that people that get the vaccine are more contagious than people who don't. So, like, if you got it and came around me, there's a good chance I could catch COVID from you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of science. They love to follow the science out there that says that.
Well, one, it's not a vaccine.
Correct. Correct.
I've got the, chickenpox vaccine, yellow fever, typhoid. Guess what? I've never caught it or given it to anybody. That's a vaccine. Not this.
This is a mRNA, whatever the word is. Again, I don't care what they call it. I just know that the people who are forcing it down people's throats are the same people that are forcing all this LGBTQ crap down people's throats, the same people that called me a racist, a bigot, a homophobe, an insurrectionist, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same side that insists on making people like me, the bad guy, are the ones telling me I have to do this. Not today, Satan.
That's that's kind of where I came to the point of I got 23 years in. You can't make me get this. I don't want it, and I had nothing to lose. I kind of look back at some of these younger guys that could lose a career, potential jobs because of them they're actually forcing people out. So right now, at the beginning of the year, you had 3 opportunities. You came to one drill, and you don't have the vaccination. They give you what they call a counseling statement. Come to the second drill, you don't have it. They give you another one, and then you come to the third. They give you a third one, and then you have to go see, a medical doctor.
It's the equivalent of a teacher putting your name on the board, and by the third check, you got to go see the principal.
Pretty much, yeah. So now June is the month where if you don't have it, you cannot come to drill. So basically, they give you an excused absence for coming to drill.
Hold that thought. We're going to take our first break here. Also, Sarah on the Guns and Gear text line said it's the gene therapy. Thank you, Sarah. It's mRNA gene therapy, not vaccine. So nice to get corrected. Nice to have fact checkers out there on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, man. We'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB.
America, you love your country, so it goes without saying that you also love your ride. And Auto Armor in Flowood wants to help you make that ride shine. Auto Armor in Flowood is Central Mississippi's premier automotive detail and ceramic coating shop, servicing any type of vehicle, including ATVs, boats, and more. Need just a quick detail or paint correction? Auto Armor can make it happen. But if you're set to hit the road in a blaze of glory while flying the old red, white, and blue, Auto Armor should be your first and last call to give your ride a full ceramic coating. Auto Armor is locally owned and operated by the loud and proud American patriot Clay Edwards. Auto Armor also proudly backs the blue, all military, and first responders. So don't forget to ask for your discount. Call 601-260-0858. 601-260-0858. Or stop in today, fellow Americans. Auto Armor is located at 4394 Mangum Drive in Flowood. Online at AutoArmorMS.com. Auto Armor, unapologetically American.
Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by Watkins Construction and Roofing. Man, go see my buddy Michael Deere and his entire team over there, Jamie Price, Johnny Casada, and every time I start naming names, I'm like, oh, you're forgetting 10 or 12. But those guys are all A1 individuals, and they will take great care of you. So whether when you need a roof repair, it can cause you a lot of stress. Choosing the right roofing company to repair your roof is going to be very important. Most contractors will try to convince you that replacement is the only way to go, and that, my friends, is not the Watkins way. They believe in an honest assessment that doesn't necessarily mean replacement. In most cases, all you need is a repair. So whether you have a leaky roof, need chimney repair, flat roof repair, roof water leak, shingle roof repair, metal roof repair, chimney, flashing repair, Watkins Construction Roofing is your go-to roof repair specialist. Give them a call today for your complimentary. In my hood, that's free. By the way, from my folks out there from South Jackson, complimentary roof assessment means they're going to come check it out for free, tell you what's wrong with it. So check them out, 966-8233. That's 601-966-8233. Or check them out online at watkinsconstructioninc.com. Real quick, if you guys want to call in, if you got any questions for Justin this morning, or for me, if you just got something you want to get off your chest, the Mac Hike of Flowwood phone line is 601-879-0002. And the Guns and Gear, home of No Limit Ammo, text line is 769-241-1944. Justin, real quick, before we jump into the back into the nuts and bolts of all this, you're a gun guy.
Oh, yeah.
I bought do you still have your license?
Yeah, I still got my license.
Yeah, I bought a couple guns from you. I still have them all.
Yeah.
You know, what got you into all that?
Basically, I like guns a lot.
America.
Yeah. I had some free time. I had some downtime from a deployment, and I went to the Glock Armorer School with Glock. You know, they used to teach you how to work on Glocks and stuff. I did that, and then people kept calling me every day for a Glock or a gun, and I was like, might as well go on and do it. So I broke down and got my license. Not a big shop, just, here and there.
Let me ask you a question while we're on it. What do you think about all this gun control stuff, the potential red flag laws, the 18 versus 21 to buy? Where do you fall on that? I think I know, but just for the hell of it.
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of the red flag laws because they can change them at any time. Hey, you take this prescription, now you can't have a gun. You have PTSD. Well, now you can't have a gun. So those laws aren't set on exactly one specific thing. And they can come in and change those laws at any time and say, hey, you're not eligible. So the big deal here right now is the medical marijuana card.
That's what I was just listening to say.
People are like, yeah, I'll get the medical marijuana card and I can have it. Well, guess what? You're now ineligible to buy a firearm after you get that card. So you can basically buy it illegally and still smoke it or whatever you want to do with it and still buy a gun. But as soon as you become legal to own it, you can't own a firearm. You're now flagged.
Yeah, well, so I've talked to a lot of people about this. And while indeed it is a law, who's going to enforce it? And the databases don't interconnect.
Yeah.
So like the Mississippi medical marijuana card database won't intersect with the federal background check
Yet.
Yet. But, which I'm shocked. I'm shocked that they haven't got all this figured out yet. But I've talked to some local law enforcement, and they say they have no intentions on enforcing it. But inevitably, it's one of those things, right? If you don't enforce it, unless you need to enforce it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So. I like what you said about the red flag. It's kind of moving the goalpost.
It is, and it's their option, their opinion on when they want to do it and what it is. Yeah. So you say you've got a bunch of veterans out there, and then they can go to the VA and go, oh well, how many veterans are claiming PTSD? And they're like, well, they're not right in the head. They don't need to own firearms, or any other thousands of scenarios that you can think about. I'm not a fan of them, and I do know there's certain types of people and things where people shouldn't have the guns.
Yeah, here's the one that I don't have a problem with, and I know that being a pro-gun, pro-America guy, I'm not supposed to have any problems on paper. I'm supposed to just be on Team America, World Police. But here's one I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with them looking back at your juvenile crime record and seeing were there any violent felonies committed on there and pulling that into your ability to own a gun after 18, at least for a short term anyway.
Yeah.
I would be okay. Like, did you get arrested for slaughtering animals, like cats and dogs and crap like that? Or have you already shot somebody and didn't get charged as an adult? Let's look at that kind of stuff. That to me makes common sense. They love to use that word, common sense. It's the very people that lack all common sense. Yeah. Love to throw the word common sense around. All right. So speaking of crazy people, that group of people, one of the big things in the military here lately has been how woke it's gotten and I hate using this phrase to describe it, but shoving the transgender nonsense down everybody's throat. How bad, boots on ground, how bad is that? What do they make you guys go through?
So I've talked to other people, and they don't have the same experiences that I've had. So you have different units, different commanders that enforce and do different things. The last unit I've been in, man, we had mandatory levels of class training we had to do. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, transgender training. So I'll give you one example of how one of these classes went. Basically, they got into, just using an example, a male is going through this transformation to become a female. He legally changes his name, has whatever surgeries they do to do this, been on hormone therapy.
That we paid for.
Yeah, I don't know who paid for it. Yeah, possibly we could, yeah. Yeah, it is a possibility that taxpayer money could have paid for it. But, even if they did it on their own, paid for it with their own money, they're going through this transformation, so they want to call it. Been on hormone therapy for years. Well, you're still a male. Well, let me get this off. There's two genders, male and female, and you're born where you're born. So
I don't care if you cut it off or not. You're just a male without one.
So, they go through all this transformation, and you're still a male, according to the Army, until a military medical doctor has deemed you a female. So you don't think about it much, but then it comes down into, we do urinalysis tests, to test for drugs and I guess other substances. So when it comes down to that, now you're putting a quote-unquote female in the bathroom, and they have watchers because you're supposed to have somebody observe you urinate into a cup and then put the top on it. So now you have a male watching a quote-unquote transformed female do a urinalysis test. So what kind of position does that put the other soldier in? The regular,
watcher,
the male,
watcher.
Yeah. So if I have to come in there and I'm watching someone with boobs, no penis, and whatever, now I have to watch them because the military doctor hadn't deemed them a female. Well, now, so this is how deep these classes go.
And now that person could very well have PTSD after seeing this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. I know it sounds like I'm being funny, but I'm really not. That would be jarring.
Yeah.
To have to see somebody mutilated after they've had bottom surgery.
Yeah.
Pee in a cup.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Like, send me to war. Front Operation Human Shield.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so that's one of the that's part of the course.
Yeah, it's doctrinated classes, man. They've got all this stuff on slideshows and hand out little flyers and stuff.
All right, so that's the transgender stuff.
Yeah.
What? And let's talk about the race stuff.
Hold on.
Okay.
So when I got in,
yeah,
it was don't ask, don't tell. Okay, about being gay. Don't ask, don't tell. And then we had a big deal. They did away with that policy, and it just went away. So when I got in, it was don't ask, don't tell. Now it's what the heck are you?
Well, yeah. Can we get back to don't ask, don't tell? I mean, and I don't even mean that in a bad way. Like, I love my gay friends, dude. You can't. Apparently now you can't be anti-trans without also being homophobic.
Yeah, it's
like if you disagree with any segment of the alphabet mafia, you have to hate all the alphabet mafia.
Yeah,
I don't hate. There's a big chunk of them I don't hate. I don't necessarily hate the trans people. I just woefully disagree with them because, for whatever reason, they feel like they need to indoctrinate as many children as possible.
Yeah, here lately, I've heard they've changed the term. Instead of just LGBT, ABC, EDFG, whatever, they just do LGBT plus.
It's LGBTQIA plus. The plus is for pedophile.
Oh,
I mean they're adding every letter they can to get to pedophile. I mean, the president of the United States is a pedophile, allegedly.
the amazing bike rider.
phenomenal bike ride. And, you know what's sad is he didn't even wreck riding. He wrecked standing.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break real quick. When we come back, I want to ask about diversity promotions in the military and anything else you guys want to talk about. The Matt Kike of Flowwood phone line, 601-879-0002. We've got Justin Thompson in studio, recently resigned after 23 years because he would not get the vaccine out of the military. So I know that this hits home for a lot of our listeners, so you guys are welcome to chime in. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show on 103.9 WYAB. Back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by none other than Clay Edwards. My Auto Armor. Yeah, look, guys, everybody's keeping their vehicles longer nowadays. With the supply chain issues that are getting harder to get new vehicles, except at Matt Kite, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Flowwood. Go see them if you need a new vehicle. But if you're deciding to keep your vehicle, or if you want to add a little value to it before you trade it in, bring it by Auto Armor right out there in Flowwood. Let's get it shined up nice for you, detailed. We can bring the paint back to life. You can go check out my Facebook page, Auto Armor by Clay Edwards. And we spell our armor the fancy way, AMOUR. I think that's the proper way to spell it, actually. Anyhow, I digress. If you need paint correction, ceramic coating, or just a really good detail on your automobile or your boat, give your boy a call. 601-260-0858. Or just check us out online, autoarmorms.com. All right, in studio with me this morning, I've got recently resigned after 23 years fighting for this country, Mr. Justin Thompson. He was a Blackhawk pilot and in the Army and Mississippi National Guard, all that fun stuff. And he wouldn't get the vax, so he's now a civilian, or will be a civilian soon.
Yeah, will be when they finally process my paperwork, probably after a year. Yeah,
that's crazy. So we're looking at losing around 2,000 Mississippi Air National Guard.
I'm not sure on the numbers, but I know it's a pretty good amount that they're losing due to the vax, and then not strictly from the vax where they're kicking the dudes out, but just people resigning like me that they're going to lose.
Yeah. Do you think some of the woke agenda is driving? Like, I'm sure there's normal people out there that maybe say, "Hey, I got the vax. I'm not worried about that." But this diversity, equity, inclusion stuff is just too much for me. I don't stand a fair chance. Guys that look like us don't stand a fair chance of getting equally promoted.
Yeah. Then there's that. You know, it's not equal opportunity anymore. It's equal diversity, no matter what the qualifications are. That's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah, I'm being quiet because I'm trying to play through something in my mind of so you get, let's say you get a minority, and then you get what I call a double oppressed individual. You get a minority who's cut their wing off. They're actually getting a more aggressive opportunity than you would for the same position because of diversity and inclusion standards.
Yeah, I mean, I say yes, but yeah.
And look, man, hey, and if you were a minority and has cut your wing off, and you're still the best pilot out there, then by all means, I want you flying the plane, or the Blackhawk copter, or be an Operation Human Shield, or whatever it is. If you're the best person for that job, I want you to do it. I don't care about your race or your gender or any of that. None of that bothers me. But if you are only in that position because of those other circumstances, then we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So what else is going on in the world, man? All right, what else is on Justin's mind this morning?
Not a whole lot this morning. I try not to wake up this early, so I don't have a whole lot on my mind normally.
Now look, man, we have been working on getting Justin in here for. When was the Aaron Lewis show?
It's a couple months ago.
Yeah,
I've been trying to get in here a couple months.
Yeah, for at least since then. So we were talking during the break about about that concert. And, and, you know, again, we're just bouncing around. Me and Justin have been friends for 20-plus years, so y'all had to bear with us a little bit. I'm trying to keep it professional and stay on subject for you guys. But that was the worst Aaron Lewis show that I've been to, and I've probably seen Aaron a dozen times.
Yeah, if I heard "Let's Go Brandon" one more time at that concert, man, I was just going to jump out the window.
Well, the thing that was bad about the Let's Go Brandon stuff was that nobody could, like, half the crowd was into it, the other half wasn't. It was like nobody could get on cue. It was like a bunch of white people trying to dance and, you know, man, choreographed.
It was horrible.
It was like, I was like, let's go. Actually, I was saying the bad version. If I'm going to do this, let's go all in.
Well, it's funny. The girl selling the T-shirts didn't know what it meant.
Now, she works for the city, right? Like somebody that works for the venue. If I remember,
she was up front selling them, and I was like, you know what this means, don't you? She's like, no. And she's like, oh.
So, yeah, that's man, but nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah. And then it was Brandon, the city, is where it was. So I don't know if she thought it had something to actually do with the city of Brandon.
Oh man, I guess it would have been class of 2020 or class of 21 when all that happened. I was like, man, how cool would it be to be the graduating class at Brandon with all of this "Let's Go Brandon" stuff going on? I know that schools try not to be political. Well, they never want to be political when it leans to the right. Yeah. Now, we told them that building a transgender bathroom was patriotic, and that's what they needed to do. They'd convert every bathroom in Brandon and anywhere else. I'm just picking Brandon here. Anywhere else to a transgender bathroom. Yeah. You know, there actually is a transgender bathroom.
Where's it at?
It's all schools have to have them.
Yeah. It
came out that Brandon had one. You know, my stepdaughter Gracie graduated from there last year. Yeah. And you know, there was a whole fiasco about somebody found out that there was a transgender bathroom at Brandon, and all Hades broke loose out there in Brandon over this transgender bathroom. But apparently, it was something that it was a mandate that came down during the Obama era that you had to have basically it's just a him or her bathroom.
Yeah, so
a unisex bathroom at the end of the day. So
what they did in some public places I've noticed is they did away with family bathrooms, and now it's male-female bathroom.
Well, you know who was the trailblazer of that concept here in Jackson?
Who's that?
Chip Matthews over when he had Fire.
No,
you remember like you'd walk into the bathroom at Fire and it was like a waiting area, and the old dude Rat that cleaned the bathrooms for him, and it had like all the different stalls, and he would just go in and clean it after somebody. So then a guy or girl, just whoever was up next, could use whatever stall because they were all sit-down toilets.
Seems like I remember that. Seems like I remember that over there.
Yeah, so he was kind of the trailblazer there. Chip blazing trails for LGBTQ trans rights in Jackson.
Didn't even know it.
Yep. All right, man. Look, we're going to take our last break of this hour. We'll come back, finish up with Justin, and then I'm going to get into all kind of shenanigans in the second hour. He's got to get to work. You're listening to the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back after this break on 103.9 WYAB. To the Clay Edwards Show. Sorry for the silence there. Good conversation happens off air as well as on air here at the Clay Edwards Show. Real quick, man. Lakeland Glass and Tint. Man, y'all get out and see my brother Jason Anderson and the team over there. If you need a windshield for your vehicle, or if you need to get your home, car, or business windows tinted, Lakeland Glass and Tint. And, of course, they are doing automobile wraps now. And it ain't got to just be an automobile. They're doing a graphic design wrap. So if you got a countertop, a wall, something like that, you want to get some graphic design on, and not just for your business, man. Say you've got your kid's playroom. Millions of ideas. I am what is that, what's that website, that social media app women go to get ideas? Pinterest.
That one?
I am like a walking Pinterest page. I've got a bunch of ideas with no clue how to do any of them. But anyway, they can help you out with that, man. If you got an idea, you want to do something on a wall, you know, put your kids, pictures, anything. Lakeland Glass and Tint, man. Start there. LakelandGlassandTint.com or give them a call, 601-946-1000, where quality matters. Justin, in closing today, man, I got to ask you, you spent a lot of time over in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the exit and how that whole fiasco went down?
I was there 2003 to 2004, and then I lived there for a straight year in 2019, which was right there.
Right at the end.
Right at the end. Yeah. And let me tell you how fast this happened. So we're over there. I call a buddy of mine. He's on his way out to Afghanistan. And he's in Dubai on his layover right before we fly straight from Dubai, or used to, into Afghanistan. And he basically, they had a contract. He's coming out, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm in Dubai, about to go back. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, they said they're closing. So they literally had a dude halfway there and turned him around and sent him back because they're like, no more.
Wow. How could they have done anything differently? I mean, there's just comments. It seems like they just, like you said, it was they cut the light switch off.
Pretty much.
It was like, that's it.
Yeah.
I was listening to Tim Kennedy on Joe Rogan, and how I guess the one of the princes from the United Arab Emirates or whatever gave them a plane, and they got like 10 or 12,000 people out. But they had to fit a certain profile. They could not be bad guys.
Oh yeah. I think I saw that podcast the other day with Tim and Joe.
Yeah.
Man, there's no easy way to do that, especially when you announce it to the world that you're leaving on this date, and it's like, oh, you're just giving, Taliban or whoever the perfect opportunity to do anything. And, people say, oh, well, we left all this equipment over there for them. We didn't leave that equipment over there. It wasn't the U.S.'s equipment we left. All that was paid for by you for the Afghans to use. That was their equipment.
Well, Tim Kennedy was talking about this, and I had not heard this before. He was talking about there were soldiers having to get into Blackhawks and get into these fighter helicopters and all this other stuff with pickaxes and just destroy the computer equipment and stuff in them. I mean, so a lot of it wasn't just left there; it was left there destroyed. Yeah. Which I guess that would be fine, given the situation.
It wouldn't matter. I know the Afghan work ethic and how they do. If we left them fully functioning, running things, they'd be broken a week or scavenged. Yeah. They'll steal the batteries and put them in there. Man,
they would. We should have just brought all them to Jackson.
Yeah,
they'd have fit right in.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, man. So that's the Afghan thing. And let me ask you this, man, because you've been in the military for a long time. Do we have any business over in Ukraine helping them with this stuff? I've been real. Don't send them a penny. Let them figure it out. I haven't stood for Ukraine. I haven't even lifted my butt off a seat an inch for Ukraine. I haven't changed my Facebook profile to a Ukraine flag or anything like that. Am I seeing it wrong from a guy that's been in the military for years and years and years?
My opinion, no, we don't have any business over there.
That's what I thought.
And it's funny, all these people buying these Ukraine flags and putting them up, they're all made in China. So they're supporting the
Communist Party.
The communist economy, buying all these Ukraine flags and posting them up and all this stuff. And what's your flag doing flying outside your house in Mississippi doing for Ukraine? It's doing nothing. If you want to do something, go over there.
But our stance is for the Ukraine. I have to let people know.
Yeah. It's a movement. They just get in line and follow.
Well, they actually took the flag down for June 1st and put their rainbow Democrat flag up. the United Democrat Party flag, the rainbow. But they've added have you noticed they've added a brown streak to it?
What's that one for?
Blacks as people.
So where's the white stripe?
Well, we're not. We have to be gay to be in it.
Oh.
That's the rules.
I guess I'm not going to go.
Straight white guy's not allowed.
No.
Well, they do have one that in their letters that they love to use, all the alphabet. It's A, and it stands for ally. And so you can be an ally. But
we got a flag. It's right behind you.
I know, the American flag.
Yeah, that one.
It's the only one I care about.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to talk about that at the next hour. All the Black Power marchers down in Natchez. I love the energy, but why can't we have that same energy for the American flag? Why does it all have to be about blackity black black black? Why can't it just be America? And it's like everybody's got all this energy and wants to fight and this that and that. Why can't we just fight for America? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
it does not make sense to me. Well, Justin, brother, I appreciate it, man. open invitation anytime you want to come back. I had a good time today.
Yeah, man.
I know jumping on radio ain't always the easiest thing to do. It's your first radio?
Yeah, first time.
You did great, man. I appreciate it. Look, man, you guys keep Justin in your prayers. He's winging it, man. Starting over in, what are you, 42, 43? 40?
Yeah.
Adding some years to you. All right, well, look, man, Justin, thank you. The Clay Edwards Show will roll on right after this break on 103.9 WYAB. 2 of the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on 103.9 WYAB and streaming worldwide at WYAB.com and on the TuneIn app. And this segment is going to be brought to you by Take a Break Deliveries, a locally owned and veteran-owned food delivery service. But, man, let's just be honest. There's so much more. They'll deliver liquor. They'll deliver beer. They'll deliver dry goods. Take a Break Deliveries, Keith and his team will get you hooked up. And, look, man, they have a slogan that says, we wait on the food doesn't wait on us. And that couldn't be more true. I ordered a pizza the other night, and by the time I got out of the shower, my pizza was there. I expected 45 minutes. It was there in less than 30. That is not an exaggeration, because I forgot to order my ranch. And I was going to call them and say, hey, man, get the ranch. And the pizza was already on its way. So, look, no complaints. It was hot and fresh. And I recommend them highly. You go to takeabreakdeliveries.com or download the app. And they send out daily promo codes to save a little bit on your delivery fee. Sometimes it's $3, sometimes it's $4, sometimes it's $5. If you've never used them before, use the promo code CLAY601 with a capital C and get $4 off your first order. And lets them know that you are a Clay Edwards Show listener, and maybe they'll keep advertising with us. It's a win-win for all parties involved. Also had a call during the break on the Matt Kike Flowwood phone line. That number is 601-879-0002, and they wanted the text line number. So the Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. And speaking of the Guns and Gear text line, we got a text that said, hey, Clay, just wanted to let you know that Mike Cassidy is supposed to be on, well, I'm not going to promote his appearance on another radio station. I should have proofread that text. But, hey, he is going to be out in Brandon tonight. So check out Michael Cassidy's Facebook page. I forget the name of the location. He's going to be sometime around 6 o'clock in the Crossgates, Brandon area. And they also said Justin did a great interview. I hope you have him on again. And Justin is actually still here. We got to talking during the break, and he just threw the headphones back on. So I'm like, look, man, I'm not going to be responsible for whatever I drag you down. So one of the things I want to talk about is this Black Power March down in Natchez yesterday.
Let's go.
I'm going to play the video here. Now, look, I've listened to this twice. I believe it is clean enough to play. Matt, I apologize if... Real quick, let me paint the picture for you real quick here. It says, we're not going to say hands up. This is a quote from some of the stuff they're saying. This is from Ford Fisher on Twitter. I got this off the Gateway Pundit. This was down in Natchez over the Juneteenth holiday. It says, we're not going to say hands up, don't shoot. We're going to let you know you shoot at us. We're shooting back if need be, explained to Speaker during the Black Second Amendment March in Mississippi on Sunday. Guns up, they chanted, shoot back. Let's see. That's not though. Here's the one I wanted. This is about 3 minutes, and I'm going to narrate on top of this song. So, Justin, you're welcome to join in. Now, they're about as good at chanting their Black Powers as all the drunks were chanting Let's Go Brandon at the Aaron Lewis concert. They need to tighten up a little bit.
Standing up today, is that right? Black people in America is not taking it no more, is that right? That's right. We believe in an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. Right on. For a limb and a life for a goddamn life, is that right?
Not taking what anymore?
I don't know. I think I may have let one slip through there. So, look, y'all get the point here. Why does it have to be a Black Power March? Why can't it just be a we are tired of this government screwing us march? And we can all get on the same team and fight together. This division in America is blowing my mind. And one of the quotes they have here is, I love you, Black King. I love you, Black Queen. And that's fine and dandy. But you had some snow bunnies marching with you. Or are they queens too, or are they? What's their role in the situation? You know, I mean, if you love your black queens, but you brought your snow bunny, I just make it make sense for me. Make it make sense. I mean, look, I'm cool with you having a snow bunny. You know,
I just feel if me and you made a similar movement or march, we'd probably be arrested.
Well, as a matter of fact, there's some proof to back that up, and I will reference January 6th. You know, like, we do it, we're insurrectionists. They do it, and it's just cool. And look, and I support it. They're like, oh, somebody on Twitter said, could you imagine? And there's some white liberal was like, could you imagine some white people doing this? How would y'all feel? Safe.
Yeah.
I'd feel safe just like I would with them. I don't feel threatened by that. Like, cool. Those seem like good guys with gun. I don't necessarily like the messaging needs to be tweaked, but they seem like responsible gun owners, you know?
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, man. The real gun owners go, I like this whole open carry thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever just walked down the street with your AR?
No, I've been thinking about it, though. I saw a guy in Walmart wielding his 38 special on his hip, and I was just like, man, you know. I don't get it.
It's save some Second Amendment for the rest of us, bro.
Yeah.
Again, I'm all for it, but Benny Ivy, that you know Benny.
Yeah, okay.
So you know he has his Strong Arms Jackson group where they do a lot of violence interruption stuff in the city and work with black youths at the end of the day, a lot of black youths that grew up in bad situations, and he brought up the mayor's attack on the Second Amendment stuff on the open carry. And he makes a compelling argument for it being a nightmare in Jackson.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that, the first thing I go to is, yeah, well, I shouldn't have to suffer because they can't act right. Mm-hmm. Because I need to protect myself from them. And if that means wearing it on my hip and having the quickest access to it. But he's saying, you know, police can't stop and frisk these guys. You know, and a lot of these kids don't look 14 or 15 years old. So then you got some stereotyping and this, that, and the other, and you have some ACLU legalities going on. I mean, but then you also have to say, this doesn't happen in other areas. Yeah. I mean, it's a toss-up, man. I don't know what you do. I don't know how you get the cat back in the pen.
Yeah, I don't know. I never got the whole open carry deal. You know, but I do know if I go in a gas station and not that I would ever do this, but, you know, and I wanted to rob it, I'd probably be like, let me go to the next one where the guy don't have a pistol hanging off his hip.
Yeah.
It's probably the wrong one to rob.
Yeah. I understand and I appreciate the open carry stuff, but it feels like it makes you a target.
It does.
I don't think it has the same effect of they're going to know not to mess with me.
Yeah.
They're going to say, because the bad guy has the advantage because he knows what he's going there to do. Mm-hmm. So if he's already made his mind up, he's shooting. So if you walk in and you have any common sense at all, and I'm giving bad guys credit here, you have any common sense, you walk in, guy with a gun, first to go.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I just feel like you're making yourself a target, you know, with the open carry. Again, I don't want to take anybody's gun rights away, but it just goes back to, like, they love to say the common sense stuff. I don't know. It seems like a lot of this spike in gun violence in these Democrat cities happened as we started doing the open carry. But then again, I can make the same argument. Well, okay, in Chicago and places like that, where they have in New York, where they have the strictest gun laws in the country, they have the highest gun crimes.
I was going to say the gun-free zones where they have the highest gun crimes.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe they should make a law about murder, and people won't murder people with guns. Maybe they should make a law about it.
Yeah, because criminals abide by laws.
Yeah.
Hey, now, you can't kill anybody with your gun.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Just going to find something else.
Well, so in Canada, the prime minister or whatever he is, the ruler of Canada, came out and said that you can't own a gun in Canada to defend your body, to defend yourself. You can only own a gun in Canada to hunt. You can't, it's not for self-defense. He's lying. Is whatever their version of the Constitution is, actually says that you can own a gun for self-defense.
I did know that you really couldn't own pistols over there, but like long rifles, for hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to sit here and pretend to be a foreign affairs expert, or especially whatever their gun owning rights are anywhere outside of America. I have no clue how any of this stuff is constitutional in America in places like California and Chicago and Baltimore and New York, where they've made it impossible to own guns. The California stuff, ironically, got started by Reagan, if I remember hearing right, because they were having these marches where black people were showing up armed, doing the open carry stuff, and they basically said you can't have a loaded firearm in public anymore. And there was actually some racism kind of behind that initial thought, and that steamrolled into California's laws being crazy as Hades. All right, we have got a call on the Matt Hike of Flowwood phone line. Hey, caller, you're on there.
Hey, Clayton and the other your guest name. How y'all doing this morning?
Man, we're doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. This Chris, I think I got one quick question. Why y'all keep insisting that the January 6th was a bunch of people who didn't comply with the Capitol Police to leave the Capitol? And they were trying to stop them from a notified election. Well, y'all want to compare that to other marches. That's totally different. Because the other marches wasn't trying to stop the election and stop the ratifying of the votes and stuff. What they did January 6th, they was on the Capitol, breaking in the Capitol building and trying to stop them to do that. That's totally different.
No, they were being escorted in by the people that worked the doors. They opened the doors and said, come on in. There were little mega meemaws running around with their American flags.
But the people who were in the lead, they didn't comply and leave. And so they knew they were trying to finish ratify the votes. The new president voted in. Why even go let the time stop it?
Well, look, I have a different approach on this thing. I'm going to just pretend that it was an insurrection, and that's what we were trying to do, because look at where America is at now. This is what we were trying to prevent. We were trying to save you at the gas pump. You should be like, man, I wish those guys had won that day.
Well, the thing is, they didn't win. I mean, this ain't going to be...
We tried.
That's not the first election. They won the first election. They problem rigged up. It ain't going to be the last. I mean, you go all the way back to who that, Dole and Bush won when they had the lawsuit down in Florida. Then you go back to other elections.
That was John Kerry, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Not John Kerry. Al Gore and Bush. That was Al Gore and Bush. Bush too.
Gore and, So you go back to all them elections. Believe me, that one the first election that was probably rigged and so it ain't gonna be the last.
Well, hopefully we learn from our mistakes and we get this one going in our direction. But look, I'm just gonna tell you, man, I don't have a problem with what happened there, because we were fighting for a real cause. We weren't burning down our own neighborhoods. See, when conservatives get mad, they go straight to the government, where you actually make the change, not burning down our own neighborhoods. Can we agree on that?
Well, see, that's another thing. You think all the BLM protesters would know all Black Lives Matter? Some of them wasn't.
Wait, say that again.
I said, you think all people who protest for BLM or Black Lives Matter, most of them all of them were?
Oh, no.
Advocates, they had advocates to January 6th.
Oh, yeah, there were a lot of the Antifa. A lot of the Antifa agitators and government agitators that, look, make no mistake, just like there were, as you said, January 6th agitators and bad actors, they had it too. I mean, there were U-Haul trucks full of bricks being magically parked at these places that these protests were going to pop off. And hey, look, Chris, I'm going to jump off here, brother. Thank you.
All
right. Just like it's fixing to happen now, is if Roe versus Wade is probably coming down today. If you live in a big city, be looking out for mysterious piles of bricks around places they aren't doing construction. Hey, caller, I know you're on hold there. Stay on hold. We got to take a break real quick, and I'll come straight back to you there on the Mac Hike and Flowwood phone line. You're listening to the Clay Edwards Show. I'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by the Mississippi Carters Association and Drive Your Line, your high-performance carts, parts, and accessories headquarters here in central Mississippi. Look, you can follow them all online. Go to misscarting.com or at Mississippi Carters Association on Facebook. And as far as Drive Your Line, check them out at driveyourline.com. And on Facebook, Drive Your Line LLC. Their next big race out at Buddy Butch Park is coming up in July, on July 30th. It's a little bit away, but go on a circle of the calendar, make your plans. and get out there and support the exciting, real deal racing go-kart action with Mississippi Karters Association and Drive Your Line. All right, man, we had a caller that stayed on hold through the break, so on the Matt Kike of Flowwood phone line. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Good morning. Good morning, Clay and friend.
Hey, good morning.
I think there's an agenda set for this country. And, I really think that when this country gets too big, it has to become a socialist country. And I noticed that the partisan with it, you have so much partisan with it, but there's also an agenda where the CIA went into the communities, the black communities and different communities, and these politicians are not just politicians. They're CIA left-wing operatives, then you have your white right-wing operatives. I'm very convinced that our second congressional, he has to be a CIA operative because this guy is very strange. He talk less, and he got everybody food, but all these years he's been in office, he never did anything. And it's like they all have an agenda. And with this Canadian guy, the prime minister, whatever he is, he's very scary. He's a very scary individual. And like I say, once you jump off, you don't have nothing to protect yourself. They're going to start rounding people up and putting them in these FEMA camps. Now, if Putin said it, don't you think they have inside? We know everything about Putin. Oh, he's going to die. Oh, he have this. How do you know all that if you don't have nobody inside? How did Putin know that the government's fixing to set up concentration camps after 2027? I mean, something is really in the works. I don't know. And then people don't need to turn their prejudice toward certain people. They need to turn their agenda. They need to have an agenda about who the enemy is, whether they white, black, purple, or blue, who's working along this socialist agenda they have. Because it's like the rich people, the very, very rich, want to destroy the country. I guess want to live on the moon some doggone where. Because if you can't live down here on Earth, that's why the Creator made one. He's looking down, man, you think I'm going to put another habitable Earth? They'll be shooting bombs and stuff at each other from distant planets. But my thing to say is, white people, black people, they need to really get it together in this country. All the multitude, they need to really get it together. And I think separation among certain classes and people, it's going to happen. It's prophecy in the Bible. There have to be a separation in America because people really don't understand prophecy as it's told in the Bible. It's told in the Bible. We all know who Babylon is. Mystery Babylon is America. And they want the people who control it to know it, and they want it destroyed so they can have this new world order agenda. But, they know they have to bring down America to do it. So that is the bottom line, people, whether you like it or not, And that's why they're over there testing all these different drones, and they know that these different drones, if we can't get them with these rifles, we'll get them with these drones. So, I mean, it's going to get nasty. I can see it coming, but, hey, you got to be prayed up on this one because, like I say, in 1822, what were we doing? People had guns, bullets scrapped across the chest, 2 on each side. Guns is nothing new in America. Guns don't kill people. People kill people, Clay. Y'all have a good morning.
Amen, Master D. Great call. Thank you, brother. Master D is one of our, we still got Justin here in the studio too, by the way. Master D is he's a legendary local caller on these talk shows, and he just always brings it. He doesn't fit he's a round peg in a square hole. And he always brings the truth. He brought up a point there, Justin. And we still got Justin Thompson, recently resigned after 23 years in the military because he was not going to get the ouchie Fauci. Nope. Wasn't going to do it. So, I mean, talk about walking it like you talk it and standing up. It was easy for Clay Edwards not to get it because Clay Edwards ain't got a boss other than Clay Edwards. So it's easy for me to make that stand. But somebody like Justin, who's a career military guy, 23 years, Blackhawk pilot, drone pilot, so on and so forth, stepped away from his career because he wasn't going to be told what to do in that sense. Wasn't going to put some mRNA gene therapy in his body. So anyway, Justin's with us, man. If y'all want to call in, chat it up with him, he's still here. So I'm good with it. To Master D's point, though, that I think a civil war is coming, but it's not going to be a traditional civil war. It's not going to be North versus South, Army versus Army, because there's only one Army. And I believe a civil war pops off, it's going to happen while the left are in charge of the Army. It ain't going to happen when Trump or DeSantis get in there. He's not going to turn the Army against all the left-wing nut jobs, even though I wouldn't be necessarily opposed to it. At least just tune them up a little bit, snatch them, slap them around a little, and, put them in a pen for a little bit to calm down. A re-education program, per se.
Yeah.
A boy is a boy.
The word about a civil war or something like that wouldn't be... the word is they would bring in the UN. United Nations forces. It wouldn't necessarily be our own forces. And then they would enforce, door to door, hey, where's your guns?
So I had a thought last night, and look, this is going to be controversial. It's never going to be a thought that has to run through my mind because my child is not in the military. A lot of people like to say it. A lot of the patriot types, guys that look like me and you, 40-something-year-old white guys, beards, tattoos, all America, go to Aaron Lewis concerts, scream, "Let's go, Brandon."
Yeah.
We always like to say, I wish you would come to my door and try to take my guns. I wish you would. I wish you would.
And 90% of people ain't gonna do nothing.
Here's the thing. What if the person knocking on that door is the son or daughter of the person whose door they're knocking on, has to say, in an official capacity, "Mom, Dad, give me your guns." Dad says no.
Yeah.
What you going to do?
That's what I said. A lot of people say that, they say that, but then when it comes down to it, they're still falling in line and following.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything.
Sadly. I mean, I would love to disagree with you, but we all know that's the truth. And I can sit here and play tough guy on the radio and all that. Till you're in that situation, you don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll all like to think that we're going to be the last action hero and go down in a blaze of glory, but that ain't how it always works.
No.
How much life do you have left in front of you? How much family do you have to provide for? What is everybody's situation is different, and I hate to compare the two, but no different than the vax. If you had a bunch of kids and were married and had all these things, you may have looked at it differently.
Maybe.
Might
have, yeah.
Same here. I was just at a point in my life where I could, just say, you know what, I'll go do this. I'll go wash cars for a couple of years so all this blows over. And that's kind of what, in my mind, what I was doing. Because it felt like it was just going that direction where they were going to make employers do it. I didn't want no part of it. So, all right. If you guys want to call in, 601-879-0002 is the Mac Hike of Flowwood phone line. And the Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. And it looks like we've got a call coming in on the Mac Hike of Flowwood phone line here. Hey, caller, you're on there. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on there.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I would want to disagree with you guys, I can't, but at the same time, everybody should know that that's how slavery happens. I mean, that's how you get enslaved. I mean, living in a country without guns.
Oh, look, I agree. I agree 100%. This is one of the things, I'm just saying it, but I would love to be wrong.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody in the South would, but I mean, it's just like Justin said. I mean, it just depends on who comes to the door, I guess. But
I guess it depends on what are the consequences of saying no.
Well, I mean, I guess you just have to read the tea leaves. I mean, to be honest with you, because I mean, you're gonna know before it happens. Because I mean, they're not just gonna pop it up and be like, okay, everybody go run up your guns. I mean, Australia knew it was going to happen before it happened, but they just willingly did it.
mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. I'm gonna tell you, I think that before it gets to a point of them knocking on doors, that all Hades breaks loose and we end up in some version of a civil war. Before it got to that point, I just don't see. I don't see it getting to a point where the military is nicely knocking on your door asking for your guns. The escalation of violence before it got to that point would rule that out as an option.
Yeah, and I mean, the other guy his name is Justin, right?
Yeah, he's still here. Yep.
He said the UN was going to come in. I mean, I don't think so, but I mean, he's more of an expert in that field than I am. But I mean, that would just tick a whole bunch of people off in America, I think. But I mean, maybe that's to the point where the war's already happened or civil distress has already happened, and that's to the point where we are. But to the other caller, not Master D, but Chris, saying that there's no difference between, there's a difference between the January 6th stuff and all the riots. I mean, they can ratify an election any day. It doesn't have to be on January 6th. I mean, so everybody's saying that they were trying to stop a dutifully elected president. I mean, if that was the case, they could have just stopped it, let everything calm down, and then resume the next day, or do everything by teleconference like they were doing that year anyway. So, I mean, and to the point, why didn't they bring guns if they were trying to overthrow the election? It's just so many accounts that you can take to say,
man, it was a raging kegger that got out of hand. You know, years in the bar business, I watched the escalation of. We got there about 9 o'clock. We started pounding them quarter pitchers. We got fired up, especially if we did like a tough man contest at the club. By the time the tough man contest started in the ring, the real battle royal was out in the crowd. You know, that's what I saw unfold on January 6th. But
it only takes one thing to set everybody off. And I mean, the thing that actually set everybody off was like police officers or the Capitol Police being like aggressive. I mean, that's what happens during any protest or riot. Like, they try to calm the crowd down, and then they break out the riot gear and start pushing people's back, and then somebody gets hurt way too bad, and then all hell ensues.
Well, you had FBI instigators. I forget the guy's name that was getting it all riled up, and he ended up on the top 10 most wanted list, and he magically disappeared off of it. I can't believe I can't remember his name, but
I forgot that guy's name as well.
Why hadn't the Jan 6 committee called him to testify? You know, I could go on and on and on.
They don't want to hear what he has to say, and it's a farce. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing important about the Capitol. If there's confidential information in there, then okay, so be it. But I mean, nobody went in there for that. I mean, okay, the Speaker of the House is there. Who cares? But I mean, what's so important about the U.S. Capitol? To be honest with you,
they run up all our debt. Hey, but
at the end of the day,
I got to take a break, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
Yep.
Hey, real quick on the Guns and Gear text line before we go to break, Wade brought up a great point. We'll dive into this on the other side of the break. He says they won't come to your house to get your guns. They will tell you through the media to give them up, and will cut you off from the food, banks, work, etc. once they get us all switched over to the fiat currency, the digital currency. And I believe you got a great point there. Hold on to your dollar bills, y'all. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show on 103.9 WYAB. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is brought to you by the Raymond Farmers Market. They're back open for lunch today. Get out there, try one of their burgers, sandwiches, or their fresh-made sides, man. The fried green onions, the onion rings, all that stuff. Fried pickles are phenomenal. They also have a sandwich called a Firecracker chicken sandwich. It's a spicy grilled chicken sandwich. Looks phenomenal. I'm going to get out there eventually and try the 9-ounce ribeye steak sandwich. You can get that off the menu every day, not just on steak night. Chicken wings, fresh cut fries too, by the way. No frozen French fries. Fresh cut, all genuine Mississippi certified vegetables, sides, and meat at the Raymond Farmers Market. You can check them out online at raymondfarmersmarket.com or on Facebook. Just go type in Raymond Farmers Market. Be sure to let them know you heard it on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, I've got Justin Thompson here in the studio with me, lifelong friend. Recently just resigned from the military after 23 years because he was not going to get the Fauci sauce. And we were just discussing during the break, that's also affecting him, trying to get a job in the private sector for DOJ contractors and stuff of that nature. Because with the contractors, you still have to be vaxxed.
Yeah, any contracts on DOD, they're requiring it. But
DOD, I said DOJ, I meant DOD, I'm sorry.
I think it'll go away at some point.
I believe so. I mean, it may be when the next president gets back in office. You may have to ride it out.
When Trump gets back in?
Trump or DeSantis or whoever. I'm trying not to jump to – look, I'm a Trump guy. I make no qualms about it. But I will gladly vote for DeSantis too. But if I got to pick between one of them in a primary, I'm leaning Trump. But I think there's a lot of people out there that just think, man, can we bring the temperature in the room down? And I'm not even saying that voting for DeSantis brings the temperature in the room down, but I'm rationalizing the same people that are going to vote for Michael Guest instead of Michael Cassidy.
Yeah.
They're thinking, well, I just want normal. I just want normal. Maybe the Democrats will behave if we don't have Trump. The Democrats got their guy in there right now, and they ain't behaving.
Yeah.
So that ain't how it's going to work. But I wouldn't have. I say all that to say I would not have a problem with DeSantis, but I think I need one more term of the bull in the china shop.
Yeah, I said it jokingly. I'm really not. Even though I've been in the military that long, I'm really not a big politics guy.
I've never seen you discuss politics.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm not big into them. People talk about different stuff. Besides stuff I see just kind of going by on Twitter and stuff. I like. I post offensive memes. That's why that's why I have like 27 accounts, and most of them are in Facebook jail most of the time. But
touche.
Yeah. So, I'll post a meme about Trump, and I'll post a meme about Biden, and have no I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. Whoever's in there is in there. I can't fix it. You got to deal with it.
It feels like people who have been in the military for a long time do look at it differently. I mean, I know once you get out, it seems like a lot more people, once they get out of the military, they're typically conservative, right-wing, stuff of that nature. Maybe that's just because it's what I see in Mississippi.
Yeah.
It's guys that I grew up with that get out of the military, and they're just middle-aged white and black conservatives.
Yeah.
But a lot of that has to do with taxes. You get tired of paying taxes after a while, and it's like, who aggressively makes me pay more taxes? It's typically the Democrats when we shouldn't be paying any, but neither here nor there.
So let me ask you something, Clay. Jackson raised their tax 1 penny, I don't know, 12, 15 years ago to help pay for water system and streets. And they've done nothing but gotten worse. So what's Kenneth Stokes doing with all that money?
Well, it's not so much Stokes as it is these crooked mayors and some of these city council too. A lot of that goes to consulting firms who then it go to minority contractors who then give kickbacks to the mayor's office and the city council and so on and so forth. Allegedly.
Yeah.
I mean, throw that in there. Allegedly. But I don't think you ain't got to dig too deep to find factually.
Yeah, because you can go get a brand new windshield right now and drive through Jackson and have to get another windshield on the other side of it.
Oh, if all you had, and that's because it got shot and not hit with a rock.
Yeah, bugs. Yeah.
If all you had to replace is a windshield after driving through Jackson, you had a good day at the office. You had a really good day at the office. Jackson homicides, by the way, if you're keeping track, the Save Jackson Homicide Tracker 2022 is sitting at 69.
What was it at last year this time?
All right. I'm glad you asked because I have that information available. Let's see.
So we're on track for 120, 130.
Would you believe if I told you that we were sitting at the exact same number? Well, here's what happened. In 2021, we didn't have a homicide for about a week. So on June 17th, we were sitting at 67, and it took to the 29th. It took to the 27th. So we went 10 days without then we had like 2. Anyway, just to say we're 50-50. We're right on course for another 150 plus homicides. And I mean, look, I know this sounds bad, but I mean, at this point, I'm just rooting for pure chaos. You know,
it's so funny because I never see us on these little Facebook ads that say, you know, top 10 deadliest cities in the United States. I never see Jackson in there, and I'm guessing it's because we don't have a population over 1 million people. And it's not significant.
Well, here's what it is some people that feel those things, that do those things, just do it literally by death toll, just the number of homicides.
Yeah.
When you do it per capita, we're top 2 or 3 every time.
Every time.
But a lot of times it's just sheer volume of homicides, just the real number, the popular vote, so to say.
Yeah. Because that's what I try to tell people. They're like, well, Chicago had, 400 murders. I was like, yeah, but Jackson had 150, and we don't even have 150,000 people, 160,000 people in Jackson. We don't have 4 or 5 million people.
We had, per capita, 6 times more homicides than Atlanta did last year.
I believe it.
Or they have 6 times more people than we do. We had almost the same amount of homicides. I'm sorry, that's what it was. They have almost 6 times the population, and we had basically the same amount of homicides, give or take 20. You know, and also if you counted in the Tri-County area, if you figured in Canton's, which I don't have the numbers in front of me, you pulled in Canton's homicides and all of Hinds County, it would easily exceed 200 a year.
Yeah,
I mean easily. Like I said, I wish WLBT would keep a track of the entire area like that, but this is just Jackson proper.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that's the ones we know about.
Oh, look, man, we talk about this a lot. You come out of these holiday weekends, or you come out of these cold spells where it starts to warm up, or anytime you see a house fire, an abandoned house fire, there's 2 or 3 bodies. It never fails. It's 2 or 3 bodies, and they're shot up. And they're discovering them. Oh, there was a body inside that burn-up house. All right, look, we got to take our last break of the day. We're going to come back and land the plane for the day. You're listening to The Clay Edwards Show. My guest, Justin Thompson, in the studio with me, and we'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB. Welcome back into The Clay Edwards Show. As we get ready to land the plane for the day, the podcast will be available here shortly. Just go to clayedwardsshow.com or any and all major podcasting platforms. It's usually posted everywhere within about an hour of the show ending. So check that out, share it with folks, and man, come back and listen tomorrow. Justin, I appreciate you coming and joining us today, man. Enjoyed the talk.
Yeah, man, had a good time, man.
It's nice to know that in a world where all we see is one side of stuff on the media, that there are still patriots that were in the military and that stood up for their rights. So we appreciate that. And look, there's plenty of people out here that got you back. When you decide what you want to do with the rest of your money earning career, let us know, man. There's plenty of people out there that would love to add somebody like you to their team. Oh, yeah. So you won't do without for long. Not that you don't have a job now, but you know what I mean. When you decide what you want to do career wise, this WYAB listening audience loves to hire military folks. So I'm sure you will do just fine. Right? Who knows? Maybe you'll end up working for yourself anyway. So
yeah, it's pretty much how it's been.
Yeah, I mean that's what I decided to do. It's like, man, I'm just at a point in my life where I just need a break from having a boss. Has it been the most financially sound decision? This is debatable. But, I do have peace of mind. So, well, look, brother, we appreciate you coming in. We appreciate everybody calling and listening today. Again, we got Mike Madison coming up next, followed by Dana, then Jameson, followed by Kim Wade. And I heard last night we have Officer Tatum on in the evenings now. So if you like following Officer Tatum on social media, he is a great follow. He is here now on WYAB right after Kim Wade at 6 p.m. So stay tuned for that. I will see you guys back tomorrow for Wednesday. Until then, peace.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.